Hello campers and welcome to another adventure into the world of Redstone with the Redstone Camper. Today we're going to cover the expandable NPC conversation computer variation. So this is level 3 in difficulty of the four NPC conversation computers that I've built. So in this particular one you can expand it as long as you want to have as many options as you want depending on space permitting. So we're going to get straight into this one today. However, I must recommend that if you have not watched the previous two levels of the conversation computer, I recommend you go watch them now, because if you haven't, you're going to get very lost in how this one works. So this is the device we'll be building today. So anywhere between the two yellow lines that you can see are the repeatable sections, and then the end one, the one that's furthest away, is the end section. So the end section and the front section is pretty much similar to what you had in the previous one, except for the stuff that goes on underneath. So majority of this is pretty much copy and paste of the previous variations. Okay, to start to build the level 3 NPC conversation computer, what you're going to need to do is you're going to first need to put a 9 by 4 wall. So once again this goes 2 into the ground, and then come out to the side 2 more blocks. So essentially you have a 11 wide pit, which also goes 15 blocks deep. Now depending on how many systems you plan to stack up, so this is for 3 systems, 3 prompts. So this is how much space you need for 3 prompts. And then for every prompt you want after, you want an extra 5 blocks. So this signifies the end of one block, and then to another block, and then this is obviously the end block. So for this block, this is actually 8 blocks away from that piece of wood there, and then this one's 13 blocks away from that piece of wood, or 5 blocks away there. Now what you're going to need to do within the 11 by 15 pit, which is 2 deep, you're also going to need to put out a trench on this side that goes 1 block off the end all the way to the end, and then this one is 1 block off the end all the way to the end as well. So for your 3 pieces of wool, you're going to knock out this block, and this block. You're going to replace them with your 3 bits of wool and stick buttons on them. Then you're going to jump across the other side. So once again, very similar to the other builds, we're going to put in our redstone. It goes like this, off to the end block here, where we're going to put in our purple, 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 and purple. And then torch, torch, redstone. And cover the top with redstone. Now the difference with this system, however, is that here we're going to need to put in a repeater on 2 ticks. And then we're going to put in our covering blocks. So we're going to have green, green, and red. And then underneath them, your pistons, which are then fed by the torch that's over here. Now, in addition to this, you're also going to need to take out that block there and replace it with a piston. Then we're going to go over here. We're going to put 1 tick repeater here, 1 tick repeater here, 4 ticks here, take this block out, replace it with a piston, and then put a block, and then a piece of redstone. So what that does is our reset button is actually on this block on this side. So for this particular circuit, the reset button is flipped to the other side. So when you press that button, it then powers this, which then takes 4 ticks, powering that block, which then gives a pulse to this, because that's a pulse limiter, which then is then extended to 2 blocks, because if you have anything shorter than a pulse when it goes into redstone, on a laggy server it tends to not have an effect, and then none of these pistons get ever updated. So as a safety precaution, we've made it so that there's a 2 tick repeater there. But in order for the pulse to not go this way, what you've got to do is you've got to lock it off. So this is where the 1.4 feature of locking repeaters comes in, because when you press this button, this redstone will get powered first, held in the off position, then the pulse goes, and because it's 1 tick, you can then safely turn this off, and then that one will turn off, and it has no effect on this redstone anymore. So that's essentially one of the biggest uses I've found for this repeater lock system. So then what you're going to need to do from here is you're going to have a piece of redstone, then you're going to put in a repeater, because that's going to get powered into this block. So then what you need to do is you need to come from that block, put in a 3 ticks repeater, and then put a piece of redstone, blank, redstone, sorry, not redstone, repeater, 3 bits of redstone, and then blank, repeater, and then redstone. Put a repeater here on a 3-tick delay. Then you're going to need to put in a piston, come across to this other block that's missing, put in a piston, put in your little blocks that you use of choice, then block there and there, there and there, cover the top with redstone in an L shape. So essentially what this will do is it will take your 1 tick, so this is 1 tick pulse coming along here, coming along, coming along, coming along, coming along. And then when you want it to go off to each of the iris NOR latches which will make up your multiplexer, you need to have it as a 3 ticks in order to have that effect. Oh, and there's redstone there. So this is essentially the lowest level, so that's majority of that section done. Now what you need to do is you need to come over here and do the reset of all your multiplexers. So this one comes along, goes along this way. Now this is where the end of your multiplexer will be. This is where the torch will be. This is where your reset block that you need power to reset it is. So you need to have a block here. So this will have redstone on top of it. And in order not to make that go in any direction, you need to power it with a repeater. Then I can't just put redstone here. I need to then cover it with another block, so that once again it will power into this block. Then you take the redstone signal from there, you move to the next block that you need to power, put in your repeater that powers the block, redstone on top, redstone, 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 cover this so that it turns back into a dot. So then what you need to do is you need to take your signals apart. So you need to take your red one across this way, then your green one needs to come out, and then your purple one also comes out. So once you've done that, you then need to place your repeater, your sticky pistons on the end. So these will be your pulse limiters for each respective path. Then you need to cover them with their respective color, and then widen the signal out. So we're going to put in our little redstone here. Going to put our redstone, and then you need your repeaters. The repeater there, repeater there, the repeater there, and repeater there. So working like the previous circuits, this is just the circuit waits for the signal to have been pressed by the red button. Purple button. Purple button goes first, then these two ones enable, then they signal off, then that signal goes and swaps your multiplexers. So it's got to be able to go to as many multiplexers as you actually have, so that's the purpose of the lines coming from here. So it goes into the first multiplexer, second multiplexer, etc. So then what you're going to need to do is you want to build that multiplexer. So we're going to make our iris NOR latch, so you put your first block there, and a block there, there, and there. Block there, and then what you need to do is you need to put in your torches. So you got a torch there, and then a torch over your reset block. So jump back again, torch there, torch there. And then you put your signal on top. And there's iris NOR latches. So when these are active, it will extend this piston, which then allows the signal to pass this block and go on to the next one. So in turn, each of these will extend. So on the first round, this will tick out after you've turned on this multiplexer, and then the next time, signal will go here, then power this block, and then tick out. So the purpose of also having the 3 ticks there is so that this piston doesn't get extended in before the pulse reaches here. So you don't want that going beforehand. So then we put in our more repeaters. So what you want to do here is you want to do something tricky. You want to put a repeater there, and repeater there, and then redstone. Now the reason why we want to do this is because we don't want the two signals clashing, and because of this system, on the other side you can't have the two clash. So on the other side of the multiplexer you'll have redstone here and a repeater here. So we'll go and put in those those repeaters. The multiplexer. Cover this. Goes all the way over to that end block. We'll do the same for this one over here. Now the thing you'll notice when you put the redstone on top is that on one of the blocks you'll notice it again clashes with the red one, so then you just put in an extra block, and then that prevents that issue. Then we're going to go underneath. So this is best to be doing in creative because you can fly. Flying when you're making contraptions like this makes it a lot easier. So we need our little choice block back. So take that one there. Oops. I can never aim with a mouse. So much better with a controller. So there's our multiplexers. So after the first iteration, this one will go around and tick, then tick open. So you can actually prove that this will work. So what you need to do is you need to first press your purple button, because then that will enable this block. So this block controls if you can send the multiplexer tick. So then we're going to go here, and press the button, and as you can see, it's ticked away. And then when I go to press this again, you can hear it working, then press it again. Then you saw that one over there extend when all of these extended, and then there's your multiplexer. And then to test your reset line, go over here, press the button, and then everything's reset. Now, the next crucial part of this system is this zone here. So in this zone, this is where you will be able to essentially copy and paste your circuit. So any block from pretty much here, so if I take a block, so any block from there to there, you can essentially select from this corner over to this corner and then copy the circuit as many times as you want. So once I've built this section and then I've showed you it finally, I'll show you how to copy it out. Is you don't want to be doing it by hand. You can do it by hand, not recommended. So what we're going to do is going to take our blocks from here, we're going to take them out, bring them to the other side, bring our blocks up to the next block, so it kind of looks like that. Taking our next one. So remember we had a repeater on this side. What you then need to have is a piece of redstone there, and then a repeater here, and then the redstone can continue with repeaters there and redstone there. So once again you've essentially repeated that end block over there. So you repeat the same thing, so redstone, 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 redstone. Then what you need to do is you need to separate signals. So you put a block up to there, cover that, and cover that so that your signals don't mix. So what you can actually do is you can take away, like if you wanted to have it so you extend it off to multiple conversations, that's where you put your redstone. You can actually just take out these blocks and instead replace them with command blocks. So I'll show you how to do that in a moment once I get to the command block phase. Then on the other side of here, you need your same system, so you kind of got your hook shape. So then this one goes up, and then do the same for the others. So once again you need your repeater system, so you got your repeater, repeater and repeater, because otherwise the power won't go through the grey block. Redstone, 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 redstone. Cover the block. What you can now do is you can go put in your command blocks. So then you can go down and take away that redstone and place the command blocks down. You can then proceed to insert the commands into the command block. So once you've gone and put all your commands into your command blocks, you can then go test your system. So if we go down to the front, we should be able to hit the reset just to make sure. In here, something ticked away. Press the button, it says line 1. Line 1, R1. Press the button, line 2. Press the button, we got line 1. And then we just want to go through and check the other one. So it all works. So that's essentially the circuit. As you can see, it is quite bulky. This is the system after it's been duplicated. So as you can see, I've taken the modules from here along to this line here, and then I've essentially just copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste all along. So essentially now I have 6 different paths for this conversation to go. So it goes about 6 different question responses. So you've got 1 question, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and the system works. So all you got to do is you just go down the front like you would normally, hit on your reset if you need to be, press the button, line 1, line 1, 2, 3, and you can keep it going. And then you can start again. There you go. So that is my expandable NPC conversation computer, which is the level 3 system in the series of 4 conversation computers. So this is the expandable one, so you can have this as long as you want, which I don't understand why you would. But yes, it is proven that you can. So this has been another tutorial by the Redstone Camper. Have fun camping.